Check yourself vol number 2. Because we as a people live in world of fantasy, and once we face the reality, and use religion properly, and once we understand how religion is being used by other people, and once we separate spirituality from religion, and understand that out of spirituality came world religions, we would not be naive to let people take from us the basic elements that make religion and sell them back to us. Professor John Henry Clarke. Irations by Rastafari. Check Why You Self vol number 2 written by Rastafari edited and layout by Rastafari final edit by Chamonix, Italjarut, cover design Raz Daniel Kreft, distributed by Wisemind Publications. Contact rasflaco@gmail.com rasflaco@gmail.com http://wisemindpublications.com http://wisemindpublications.com Copyright symbol Rastafari. All rights reserved. No part of this publication may be reproduced or stored. Whenever you chant Jah Rastafari and wave your emblem, know that the Rastafari movement is sacred from the self-sacrifice, physical endurance and the unrepentant position of the ancient patriarchs and matriarchs who have gone before and others who are now present within I today. The difference of being accepted as Rastafari and approval of being Rastafari is subtle but distinct. You can have the appearance, the emblems, the word sound, and the attitude and be accepted by some. For approval you must be close to the character of Qdamawi Haile Selassie with wise mind, highest morality, and be the true defender of the fundamental rights and freedoms of the African people and people of the world. The Nyabingi order is anti-colonial struggle, the ISIS is just a section of the movement. The daughter know themselves and are not being down-pressed in any way. Men and people are now trying to water down the order of the Nyabingi. It won't work. Truth, when built on facts, will become rules of life. Facts which you can see, touch or have a direct contact with, will bring about the reality of. Know the illusion will bring about confusion. Why suffer personal tragedy and live a fantasy? If your plan is to search for something better without making yourself better, how will you accomplish it if you are not willing to learn from those who know better? Is there a good reason for society to care about Rastafari? Would it be more productive for Inai to live by the divine guidance of Qdamawi Haile Selassie and set the good example for all to see? Since Africa is the motherland, if the continent's pillage continues, Inai will have too much rebuilding to do when Inai get home. It seems like this repatriation is hard to come by. It is spiritual to chant, but practical to make a change for the better, seen. Rastafari today are heirs to a tradition which searched for glory of the African past in the midst of neocolonialism. Because of the totality of the experience of slavery, racial discrimination, and the partition of Africa, the slogan Africa for the Africans at home and abroad had emerged as the freedom song. It is all good to boast your independence and be listed among the world of nations. Don't celebrate too early, as there could be the nightmares of the neocolonialist and puppets slipping policies through the back door. It should be full speed ahead to resolve internal conflicts and strive for good governance. You can't change the color of your skin, or can you? Having cleansed yourself from the colonial mentality that you had inherited or adopted over the many years, you are now challenged to step to the new faculty of interpretation of Rastafari and free yourself from self-torment. Just to imagine slavery days makes you shiver, but Inai will not be agents of hate. Inai will always live within the character of Qdamawi Haile Selassie, and let Inai works shine for all nations to behold. Modern-day religion is becoming the basis for political power, and the controlling agent of the lives of individuals in the society. Religion has also become the principle of social control and submission of the masses. The conscious mind stays clear of this wave of emotional frenzy, and knows that it is mankind who has created religion to empower himself at the expense of others. It is full time that some prominent churches pay reparations for the atrocities they have committed in the name of God and Christianity. Have you forgotten the era of Bible? You must recall sword, gun and dungeon cells. Rastafari today are heirs to a tradition in the midst of neocolonialism, the experience of slavery, racial discrimination, and the partition of Africa, have now given birth to the slogan, Africa for the Africans and home and abroad. Some of us only fool ourselves, or take comfort in chanting reparations. Africa is a real world and the old guard is still in place, yes, nothing have changed. Rastafari must be realistic about world affairs and step up the education in process now. There was a time when Rastafari chant, let the dead bury the dead. The saying is still true for many. However, to avoid being laid to rest in the name of jazars by family members, Rastafari priesthood must step up and do what is right. Men and people in the early days had no love for Rastafari. It was condemnation to jailhouse, the madhouse, self-exile in the deep hills or interment in the cemetery. Do you think that society has changed their outlook toward Rastafari today? Many have been tried and tested and found worthy to build strength, yet some have chosen to run away. Will you be there when Jah Jah roll call, or will you find yourself against the judgment wall? Now if you are stiff-necked and set on your own ways, if you choose to experience things on your own, and refuse to learn from the experience of others, you could easily be a bounce about in rough seas without a life belt. There is no easy ready remedy for life problems, so all those having the common interest of uniting the African people to overcome obstacles in their way, should now step forward with their best talents and make it happen. If you see yourself as a different entity, you could sell your soul to the devil and be at odds with creation. The pain and suffering you will inflict on others will be remembered for a lifetime. No material wealth will save you and history will record your judgment. The joyful song that we as Rastafari will always happily sing is Hail Selassie is Jah Rastafari, yesterday, today, and forevermore. The I know. In this time, the little hustling will just allow you to put your pot on the fear, much less to pay your bills. This hand-to-mouth liberty is not a easy thing. It well read down here in a Babylon. But still in I will make no riot. With the age of science and technology, the era of cyberspace, and computer toys, it is good in some ways, but scary for many. Your privacy can be compromised by the all-seeing eye of global this in. Be wise when using the space and tools. Don't be a fool. Some would prefer to bag we and tag we up. DEM, no easy you know. Some prefer to approach undercover, like we can't read the blueprint, much less the fine print. Rastafari have searching eyes. Rastafari carry the memory of the ancestors even to this day. Head no good again, when you hit the streets rocking to the wrong beat. If you run with the hype, you will surely get defeat, and your friends will be fund crying in the streets. The difference of being accepted as Rastafari and approval of being Rastafari is subtle but distinct. You can have the appearance, the emblems, the word sound, and the attitude. However, you may not be accepted unless you choose to live the character of Kudamawi Haile Selassie to the highest morality. Be a true defender of the fundamental rights and freedoms of the African people and people of the world. Behold, how good and pleasant it is to exalt the name of Jah Rastafari. The stone that the builder refused is now the head cornerstone. Don't lose self-confidence and go running back to the church bench. Know that the pastor can't save you. In the spring of 1941, the Italians were defeated by British and Allied forces. On May 5, 1941, Emperor Selassie re-entered Addis Ababa and returned to his throne. Indeed, this is a great day to celebrate the triumph of good over evil and the bravery of the Ethiopian people. Be sincere without offense towards each other, be mindful of injuries, sedition, isms or schism. Be kind one to the other without grudging. Always be ready to do good work. Be engaged in virtuous conversation and remember, in all things, show the love for Jah Rastafari and Empress Menen, whose commandments is written upon the tablets of the heart. Fret not yourself because of evildoers, neither be envious against the workers of iniquity, for they shall cut down like the grass and wither as the green herb. Trust in Jah Rastafari and do good, and you will dwell in the land and be fed. Delight yourself in Jah Rastafari, and he will give you the desires of your heart. Psalm 37, 1-4.